This one, I think Sweet Knowledge Clothing.
Oh my gosh. Do they still have them?
I don't know. I bought it homecoming before last, so 20.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Oh.
This one, I think Sweet Knowledge.
Can you hear that? Oh my gosh. Do they still have them? Okay. Hey guys. Oh wait, I think I muted myself.
Homecoming before last, so 20.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Oh.
This one, I think Sweet Knowledge.
Can you hear that? Oh my gosh. Do they still have them? This is okay. Hey guys. Oh wait, I think I muted myself. Okay, can you hear me, Shana?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I muted the YouTube live. So now I have both of them open and I can see everything. Hey, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have you guys here. So this is another eBoss talk and I am featuring Shana and she is with The Wealth Vibe on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. And she's also one of my eBosses. She's been in the eBrand club for a while. Wait, how long have you been in the club?
I think since September.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Okay, so let's see who's in. Heather, the reseller, Right Dreamer. Hey, Brooke, she's the eBoss. It starts with T. Hey, girl. Q makes it happen. Accountable with Alicia. Julia Marion, the Yo-Yo Diet Show. Oh, that's a cool name. Face Goddess, Purple November. Okay, it's a ton of you guys flooding in. Where are you guys from? And also, if you are in the eBrand club, please say so. Please say like hashtag eBoss when you comment so that I can know who is in here from the club. So you guys seem to love the last eBoss talk with Mia Taylor, who has the subscription boxes with the literature, and she really just like promotes literature and representation of, you know, Black representation within literature. And she got so many emails and just so much love from that eBoss talk. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to continue doing because I think it's a great way to just give people in the club who participate and who are just really active and just killing the game time to shine and use my platform as a opportunity to, you know, share with us what you're doing, and to just like, I don't know, just inspire us and like help me in some ways, because I think a lot of the time we, you know, especially on my platform, I think a lot of people think that I just know everything when it comes to business or branding, and that's just not the case all the time. There are so many different ways that you can approach business or social media or branding. And I think it's just really cool to have conversations about that. So, hey, Shana.
Hey, Erin.
Thanks for being here. Also, Shana went to Howard too, and I had no idea until we just had a strategy call earlier this week or yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was last week.
I was like,
I just edited it because it's in today's vlog, so it felt much more recent than it actually was. So who do we have in the house? We've got California, Jacksonville, Florida. We've got Seattle, Louisiana, Atlanta. Oh my goodness, South Carolina, Massachusetts. All these eBosses. Hey y'all. Okay, so Shana, tell us a little bit about what you do and like tell us about the Wealth Vibe first.
Yes. Okay, so The Wealth Vibe is my YouTube channel, and I create videos to help people eliminate debt, grow their income, and build wealth. Those are the three types of things that I create videos about. And I basically got on YouTube to talk about this particular topic about a year ago, a little over a year ago, because I was trying to pay off my own debt. I had $108,000 of debt, and that debt was from student loans, from IRS debt, medical debt, what else, car, like everything. And so I decided that I wanted to pay it off. Like when I graduated from my PhD program, I was like, you're gonna get out of debt. So I started to do that, and within like a few months, I had paid off like thousands of dollars. And I was like, you know what, I should share this with other people so that they can also be inspired to do the same. And so I got on YouTube and started creating videos about how I was budgeting and how I was, getting extra income from other places and everything that I was doing to be able to eliminate a lot of debt. And so I was able to get $60,000 of debt paid off within 2 years by just grinding and then showing everybody on my YouTube channel about that. So I post like 2 to 3 videos a week on my channel about those 3 different topics.
And then that's good too, because you opened up the opportunity for another stream of income to help you pay that debt down with the YouTube ads and stuff like that. So did YouTube actually help you pay down the debt?
Yeah, so it did help a lot. So I got monetized in April. So I started seriously putting videos up in January of 2019. I keep getting the dates get messed up. Yeah, January 2019, and then in April I got monetized. I think technically I got monetized in March, but I didn't get the first check until April because of whatever reason. And so then I started to use that money to be able to, contribute towards my debt. And then also through affiliate marketing. And so I was telling people about different ways that I was making income. So like Instacart, for example, when you sign up for Instacart, like I get a referral bonus from people doing that. And like books that I recommend, and just a slew of things like stocks, like Robinhood, they give you a free stock. Same for Webull, they give you 2 free stocks. And so just putting those things out, like talking about them and how I was using them, I was able to generate income from those. And actually today I got a check from Rakuten. So that was another thing that I talked about how, save money when you're shopping online for any of your, essential items that you're doing. Or if you need to buy clothes or whatever it is, save a few extra dollars and you get money back, I get money back. And then I was able to put that towards my debt, and it just accelerated the whole process for me.
Yeah, oh my God, that is so cool. And Shana talks about a lot of this stuff on her channel. So I really want you guys, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat on YouTube, but also please go and like watch her videos, because she talks about a lot in terms of paying down your debt, managing money, all of those types of things. So you have 10,000 or over 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm actually about to hit 12,000.
Yes.
At some point soon.
Yeah. So tell me about how your YouTube process has been. You got on when?
So okay, so that's why I said with this topic. So technically, like in like 2010, I did get on YouTube and I started doing videos about like my hair. And then that quickly became boring to me because it's not.
But it's popping though, girl. It's popping.
But thank you so much. So yeah, actually, I think at the time when I did get on YouTube, then my hair was shorter. Not because I did a big chop or anything. I just cut my hair short. Like when I was in undergrad, I had my hair short, and then I started to grow my hair a lot longer. But it got boring to me, like constantly talking about hair, and so I got off of YouTube for like, I don't know, like 8-9 years. And then I got back on talking about this topic. So I did have like 2,000 or 3,000 people from that other channel. But I think when I first did not the other channel, from that channel, because it was the same channel, just a different name. Yeah. And I think that those people, some people continue to add on throughout the years, although I wasn't posting anything. So I might have, had a lower amount of subscribers when I first started. And then, by the time I started to talk about personal finance, I had about 2,000 or 3,000. So at first it kind of was a struggle, because although I had 2,000 or 3,000 people, and all I needed to do to get monetized was just hit the 400 or 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah.
I wasn't really growing that much in my eyes, because the number was pretty much staying the same for like months and months and months, because people were unsubscribing because they didn't want to hear about like hair.
They wanted to hear the hair
anymore. Yeah, and so it was kind of like stagnant, and I'll be on like, what? Why is nobody like on my channel? Like I'm putting out quality videos, so it was for a little while just kind of a little frustrating not to see any growth. But then after a while, I guess a good amount of people had already fallen off. and then I started to get traction and see the growth happen. So think I hit 10,000 in November or December.
Because you posted it in the club, I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, and then last month I had 1,000 people, and I think it's really the topic. I had over 1,000 people subscribe in the last month because, you know, the beginning of the year, everybody's trying to get their finances together. They're trying to do things differently. So I had a huge spike last month. So within like just 1 month, I had, you know, more growth than I had seen on a regular basis before that. So
yeah. And I think that's good to note that you just powered through that transitioning period, because a lot of people will ask, should I start just a whole new channel, or should I use that channel and, you know, just capitalize on the followers or subscribers that I have there? And it's like, you kind of have to pick which, you know, it's going to take patience if you start all over, or it's going to take patience to kind of see how your audience responds to your new, you know, area of content. So I think that's really good that you made mention of that. So what kind of kept you going? Because a lot of people get really discouraged when they see the numbers not moving. And the cool thing, which is another thing you said, is like, now that you've hit kind of that 10,000 mark, you're seeing your growth happen a lot faster.
yeah.
And that happens a lot. Like the once you hit certain thresholds, their growth just takes off. Like when I hit, it took me, I started in December of last year. I hit 50 in December. I mean, in November of no, I hit, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
2018, I started in December. November of 2019, I hit 50,000. And December or January, like the first week of January, I hit 100,000. So it was like, you grow exponentially as you grow. So like what kept you going through that kind of drive phase?
Yeah, so I think just having a community of people that would comment on my videos or would, you know, hit me up on Instagram and just say, "Oh, you inspire me. I decided to go get a side hustle, or I've been able to pay off X amount of debt." And so it was them helping me and me helping them. And so it was kind of like I want to show up for, you know, people that have been supporting me, helping me. Also, like I said, financially, it has helped me too to be able to do the affiliate marketing and the YouTube ad revenue and all those things. But, you know, just showing up help other people, and in turn they help me. And so that was the reason why I kept doing it. And I think too, this time around, the reason why I'm inspired to keep doing more videos, because it's an actual topic that I enjoy. Whereas before, you know, like, well, at least for me, when I got on YouTube, I felt like everybody was talking about their hair, natural hair this, natural hair that. And it was like, okay, well, I got natural hair. Let me let me talk about it. And but it wasn't something that would sustain me. And then now personal finance is, I feel like, something that I'm really interested in. And I think no matter where I go in life, it's something that I can talk about. And so it's, you know, it's something that I feel like I can continuously talk about for, you know, another 5-10 years or whatever, as I continue to go through different stages, like I'm, you know, getting out of debt and then building wealth and, you know, different transitions, buying a house. I can share that with other people, and that will inspire them to do the same. And so I think it's just, when you find something that you really like talking about, then it's easy to keep pushing through that and stay on the platform.
Yeah, and everything has to do with money. Money is in
Yes.
everything you do, whether it's free or, you know what. So I love that. I love that. Do you get approached by brands?
Yeah, I have. So I haven't worked with any yet. So I have a one that they want me to do a video on their channel, but I
Mhm.
haven't done any videos on my channel that have been sponsored by anybody. And the reason for that is I just don't see the fit sometimes. Um, and then when there has been a fit, like they want to pay like X amount, and I'm like, for me to put in the work that I put into my videos, I need a little
Mhm.
bit more. And so then they're like, oh, we're not interested or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it sometimes it just fizzles out. But I get a lot of emails from different brands that are wanting to work with me, but it's just so random. Like I got an email the other day from some bracelet company, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Why did you contact me? And I think even like the tea, was it tummy tea or
Yeah.
whatever? They contacted me too. And I was like, when do I ever talk about this on my channel?
I know, girl. I've gotten some very strange sponsorship emails too. And I just wanted to ask because a lot of times people think that you have to have this enormous following to get approached by brands or to even pitch yourself to brands. And that's not true. Like you know, you have an audience and your audience is definitely growing and you know, you have a great audience. But I would say, you know, even with having less than 10,000 subscribers, you can still get brand deals and like they will still pay you or they may send you product for free. And sometimes it just really depends on whether or not you're willing to take it. Like you said, Shana, like you spend a lot of time and energy on your videos. And so some people may just not be willing to work for free and free product or free trial for 30 days or 60 days of an app or whatever. It's just not worth it. But I do think it can be beneficial in some sense of showing like for brands to see like how you manage sponsorships. So if you took one sponsorship for free, just so that other brands who may have more substance or more alignment with your audience, which I think all of your brands should, but if I don't know, like um, what's a money app or like if Honey, like the discount app approached you and were like, can you do a integration on one of your videos and we give you like $100 and you're like, oh, that's not enough. But if you do that and show them how great you do sponsorships, then that could open the door for more sponsorships if that's something that you are interested in. And I think that's important for other people to know too. If you aren't so like if you aren't rigid on your prices and you are more open or flexible and you just like want sponsorships, then I do recommend taking something on that really aligns with your brand, but doing it really, really well. So that way you're opening up the door for more brands to see how great you embed sponsorships into your content. So yeah, but that's really good. So what else do you have going on, Shana? Are you working on like what are you working on?
So right now I am working on launching another business. So the reason why I had a strategy call with Aaron the other day was to talk through some of the ideas that I had with this business. So basically the business is called Public Health Force, and what I am hoping to do with that business is to help people in public health who are grads, recent grads, or in that transition stage that want to find a career in public health, help them to find a job. So taking them through the whole process of refining their resume, helping them with networking, and also LinkedIn profiles and everything that entails helping them to find a job that can turn into a long-term career that they really enjoy, and just and giving them the strategies. And the reason why I decided to go with this businesses, I've been thinking about it for a while. I used to work for the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, and that is a very difficult place to get into. And I learned a lot of tips and tricks while working there as to like how do you get in. And there are like people always asking, how do you get into the CDC? How do you get in? And so that was my first thought into like how to do that. And then I realized that a lot of people would come to me with questions, and I teach as well. So I'm an adjunct professor at 2 universities. And, my students come to me for advice and ask me, how can they get, a job in whatever, company or whatever after graduation, and what strategies would help to align them to be in a better position to get the job that they want. And so I was like, I keep getting a lot of people talking about this and asking me this. And even on my channel, I talked about, when I was looking for a job, how that was going and everything. And people would say, oh, you do so well. Like you have such great tips and strategies. Can you do more videos about that? And so I was like, what? I need to come up with a better way to help people with this rather than one off. And so
Yeah.
I figured that I should start this this new business. And so I'm launching it during National Public Health Week, which is starting on April 6th.
Yeah.
So just a few weeks.
And I'm so excited for you because it's also important to know like you can have more than one interest and you can introduce different things onto your channel, and like your audience is still your audience. So I mean, to some extent, you guys, people don't just follow your journey just because they want you to stay one dimensional for the entire time and they only want you to talk about money, which some people do, and that's fine. But like, you can evolve and like introduce different interests and different things or different parts of yourself to your audience. And I think, even in our call, we talked about, like you were like, I don't know if I should put content out about this because it's different. But a lot of times things overlap. And even if they're not interested in public health stuff, like people like you, Shana. So
Yeah.
it's, and so that's equally as important.
Yeah, and actually, so I did a vlog. I've been vlogging every single week about the process of starting up this new business because it does fall into the bucket of like generating income, which is one of the things
Yes,
I talk about on
absolutely.
it. And so I've posted a vlog on Sunday about like my first week of starting up this business, and it was so well received. I had like a few people reach out to me via email, and also, just on the comments and saying like, oh, I'm in public health, or I'm a toxicologist, or whatever, and this is something that I need. And so although my channel is personal finance focused, this is public health, but they bridge together in some ways. And also people just like you, and then also people that watch you as well, they are multidimensional. So although they're watching a personal finance channel, they also are in public health, or they also have this interest, or they also have a dog, whatever it is that you do. Exactly. They have other things going on in their lives as well. And so it does, you have to figure out the right way to do it. So you can't, like, I wouldn't go on my channel and just, start talking only about public health necessarily at this point, but trying to figure out like the ways that it actually fits.
Makes sense. Yeah. And if you guys haven't watched the vlog that I uploaded today, there's a clip of our strategy call, and Shana breaks down her whole target audience persona. You guys have to watch it because, and there were comments in there like, oh my God, her persona was so good. That's how specific you want to be, because the more multidimensional you make your persona, the more like range you have with the content that you can create. And those are creating more connecting points for you to really connect and cultivate those relationships with your audience. So by revealing more of yourself, you're kind of opening the door for more connection with your audience and bringing a new audience in. And I think you're going about it the right way, with kind of starting with one type of thing and then kind of branching out. And vlogs is such a good way to do that. And that's kind of like what I did with my channel. Is I was doing like entrepreneurship stuff and like sharing my journey of starting up, but more through an informational lens and like just sharing my experiences as I talk to the camera. But it makes a world of a difference when you're showing people like your day to day and what you're doing, and how you're doing things, and not just telling them what you're doing. So I think vlogging is a great strategy to use to ease people into a different side of yourself. So
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, I really like this." Cause I actually did Vlogmas this past Christmas, and people were like, "Oh, we really like being able to see this different side of you." Because when you're doing more informational sit down videos, it's just you delivering information, and it's kind of like, okay, well, who are you? And so when they realize, oh, you go to the same stores that they go to, or you eat the same foods,
Right.
or you go to Bible study or whatever it is, they're like, oh, I love this, and I get comments like that, like, oh, I like that you do this, or I like that you have this, whatever going on. And so it's, it does bring those connection points, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's take some questions. Do you guys have any questions for me or Shana? A lot of people said they subscribed.
Thank you.
Yay, I'm so happy. Okay, I'm not seeing many questions roll through, so maybe you guys don't have any. KP says this was so great. I love seeing Black women on YouTube in personal finance. Yay.
Yeah, and that's also another reason I think too why I was like, oh, you know what, there aren't that many people talking about it. I saw a lot of couples talking about personal finance, and not to discredit them, but couples, they have two incomes.
Right.
And so it's a little bit easier to be able to get to goals. But when you're like a single person, then it's a little harder. And then I was like, okay, there's a lot of couples, but then, okay, when I do see a single person, it's like a male, or it's a woman that is not Black or not a minority. So I was like, let me go on there and talk. And so I think it added a little, fresh perspective. And I see a lot of people, other people coming on as well. And so I like the fact that the community of, people of color are building up, in on YouTube in personal finance.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Someone asked, people are asking what's her YouTube name. Her YouTube name is The Wealth Vibe. The
Mm-hmm.
Wealth Vibe. Accountable with Alicia asks, were you afraid to tell the world your debt amount?
No, I wasn't. I think I was more afraid of telling people what I did to pay off my debt. It's not even like, how some people are like selling their panties and showing their feet and stuff like that. I did none of that.
Foot modeling.
I did none of that. Just to be clear, I did none of that, which is fine if you want to do that. It's just not
Right.
like the thing. But I think for me, I was a little concerned about telling people that I was doing like side hustles like Instacart and Grubhub and things like that, because I think a lot of people, well, maybe it was in my mind. I did a video about this where I was kind of like processing like my thoughts around it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a PhD in public health, and I went to pretty top schools. I went to Howard, I went to Columbia, and so people start to think like, oh, well, did she fall off? She's working, Instacart and Grubhub, or she doesn't go out, she doesn't have money. And so I didn't really want to invite all of those conversations in about like what I was doing. And so I was afraid to talk about that more so. I don't really care about talking about how much debt I have or like the income that I have. I feel like I actually did a post about this on Instagram like at the start of the year. And I said, people need to talk more about like their situation because it helps other people. And even just talking about like your income, especially like in your collegiate circle and stuff like that, or your friends, to help people know like, okay, I got this job, we're in the same industry, what's the going rate, and that helps people to be able to get higher salaries rather than being like, oh, you know what, well, I'll take 40,000, but everybody else is making
80, right? Exactly.
So, if you don't talk about this stuff, then, how are we supposed to be, getting to a better place? And then by talking about my debt, other people are then looking at like, okay, well, I actually have debt too. And the thing about debt, I think, as well, is that people don't realize that some things are debt because we normalize them. Like, we have a credit card, we have a car, we have all these forms of debt, but it's like, oh, I have this physical thing here, or I have this degree, or whatever it is. And so we start to normalize it. And you don't realize that, you have such a large number that you owe somebody else. Somebody has control of your paycheck every single week or month or whenever you get paid. Somebody has first dibs on your money because you owe them. And so we don't really think about all those things. And so when by me talking about I have $108,000 of debt, you might only have 15 or 5, but it might make you say, how much do I actually have? And make you want to do something about it.
Yeah, and then by seeing that you paid down 60,000 in 2 years, for somebody who has 50,000 and it's taking them however long, that can encourage them like, okay, I can do this too,
Yes,
it makes it more tangible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have lots of questions rolling in now. Modest Mommy says, Aaron, can you personally watch my channel and give me some tips? I only do that in my eBrand club. So you have to be in the club, and I do that in my strategy calls as well. So I saw some on here about side hustles. There's so many comments. Sorry guys, I'm trying to. Jaunty Meek says, how do you approach brands to consider a side hustle?
Brands to consider a side hustle?
I think she's asking, how can you make brand deals a side hustle?
Okay. So I think for sure, like, so like I said, I have affiliate income. And so one of the affiliate sources of income that I have is from Instacart. And so that you don't have to convince somebody to consider it a side hustle. There are so many companies out there that just, if you use the product, like I was an Instacart shopper, they allow you to refer other people. And so you just need to literally just get their link. You don't have to get buy-in from them, or you don't even have to have like a whole lot of followers. That is literally like the first way people can monetize their channels or whatever platform they're on, because you have access to these affiliate programs. And there's so many, like my sister and I were talking about it, and she has a podcast. And so she was saying, you know, she's going to start monetizing her podcast by creating affiliate income. So that's a way that you can turn, you know, brands into a side hustle for you without actually approaching them and saying, can you please, you know, create a deal or partnership with me? Absolutely. But after a while, you know, people are going to approach you that you think are a good fit, and then that will be a, you know, another source of income that if you feel like, you know, that's the route that you want to go, it can start to, you know, have a good amount of income for you coming in.
Yeah. Sure. And I think too, I think a lot of us are so focused on brands and making brands pay us. And a big reason why I don't take as many brand deals, because I get approached nonstop. And I've only done 2 sponsored videos, no, 3, on my channel, and one of them wasn't even paid, which that's beyond the point. But I would say that you definitely want to always be putting yourself first. And the thing, like, I wanted to make sure that I pushed my stuff and people knew who I was and what I was offering before I pushed the brands, because I want y'all to buy into me, not necessarily buy in as in physically purchasing whatever I have to offer, but like, I want you to really like trust me so that when I do have an offering, you are inclined to buy. And those are the things that we really have to consider, is even when you do a whole bunch of brand deals, like it starts to saturate your platform, and brands aren't as like enticed to do a deal with you, opposed to if I do one brand deal a quarter, I may be able to charge 3 times as much because they have more leverage on my platform. So you just have to really be careful with brands and taking brand deals just for the sake of getting money. I know we hear it all the time, but I think affiliate links is a great suggestion, Shana, especially if you don't have a huge audience. And then also the biggest thing is just having good content. If you're going to want brands to buy into you, then you have to be able to give something in return, and they're looking for really solid content to market their products or their business on. So that's literally the groundwork. Nia Taylor Clark is, oh wait, what you say?
I was gonna say, I agree with what you said about like you know, putting yourself first, because today I was thinking about one of the brands that did contact me, and I was like, I already have a story that I'm trying to tell with my content. And I'm like, where do they fit in? You know, and I would have to push aside like what I have planned for my channel, where I want, you know, people to grow with my channel to fit this brand in. And do I really want to do that for however X amount of money that they're giving, when I can cultivate my, you know, audience and help them grow. And then eventually when I do have something that I want them to purchase or whatever, they're more trusting of me, like you said, rather
Yeah.
than pushing somebody else's agenda into my situation.
It's like shiny object syndrome. You just have to be very careful. Nia Taylor, who is an eBoss, hey girl, who we did the last eBoss talk with. How do you know when and if it is a good time to add a YouTube channel to your already existing business? I can take this one because I did that. I started Earn on Demand before I launched my channel, which it was about 6 months before. And I think the time to know when is if you are feeling like you can give more. First of all, because YouTube is definitely, it requires a lot of time and energy. So I would definitely say you want to feel like you have more to give, and that you have something to say with your whatever it is that you're looking to promote. Because when you start, you want to keep going, like you want to have some momentum. And I think you should kind of think of YouTube not as necessarily like, I'm going to use this to promote my business, but I'm going to use this to add value into people's lives, and somehow some way it relates to your business. So it should make sense in the grand scheme of things, but it shouldn't be your sole reason behind starting the channel. Because I feel like you're gonna get, like, when your business begins to evolve and things start to shift and change, that's why you see a lot of YouTubers who are in the entrepreneurship space like get really freaked out after a while, or their engagement starts to plummet because they've niched so much into this one thing that their business is on, and now they want to change directions, and now they don't know what to do. And you see like the burnout a lot when you do that. So I would say, what is like the overall message that you are wanting to say, whether that be with your business, with your YouTube channel? It has to be more than just the service or the product that you're pushing. And I think when you find that thing, like Shana said, like she can talk about money for years and years to come. I can talk about entrepreneurship and just, my journey and branding and all of these things for years and years to come. But we also don't feel confined, and we feel like we can use our platforms to really say a message that goes beyond just money, entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't feel boxed in. And so I think um, it really takes feeling like you have that thing, that message that you really want to push out to the world, that relates to your business, but isn't solely like based only on your business. Do you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
So I think there's like, I guess, two ways that you can think about doing YouTube. Like you can think about YouTube as a business itself, and then you can think about YouTube as a way to support a business, like
Mhm.
as a supplemental way. So
Yeah.
like, for example, you can use YouTube as like the vehicle to just put up, I don't know, ads or whatever it is that you do, or like informational, like if you have, like for Nia Taylor, she has the box, right? So she can maybe put up things about her box, but her audience isn't really being built on YouTube, but it's the way that she delivers the content, maybe to Facebook or whatever. And it's kind of just I guess like a mechanism to be able to deliver to other ways. And so I think you can use YouTube in that way if that's your goal. Like if maybe Facebook is your thing and not really YouTube, but you're like, okay, where do I host my videos at? You can look at it that way. Or you're like, oh, I actually want to build a business around YouTube where people know more about me. Then you can think about it that way as well. And I
Yeah.
think for me and Aaron, like the Wealth Vibe and for Aaron on Demand is more of like building a business kind of like around YouTube
Yeah.
in a sense.
It kind of is the heartbeat of the business. So it like keeps everything pumping. It's bringing business in. It's, and that can very well be for, you can start a YouTube channel before you start a business, and this can be what you use to promote everything or whatever. When I started it, even when I started my channel, even after I had started Earn on Demand, the business, I didn't push anything in my business for, I think, 7 months. until 7 months in. I didn't even prompt anyone to buy anything, to book anything with me, to do any of that, because I was literally just trying to build trust. And so it does take time. And I think when you have a business and you're opening yourself up to social media, and especially YouTube, I think you just have to make sure you give it time to like work. It's gonna take time to really like build that audience and to build that trust. And it's not to say that you have to have 10,000 subscribers before you can push your first, thing onto your audience of saying like, hey, you guys, I'm offering this, or, pushing your offerings. But I do think it's smarter to go about it and expect to like get some skin in the game and really think of it as a long-term thing, instead of a quick way to promote and just like blow up. So, and I'm sure Nia doesn't think of it like that. And I think she is at a point where she could start a YouTube channel and really like be opening up a space on YouTube that is what her business stands for. So girl, you better start that channel. We're gonna take a couple more questions. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my gosh, it's literally okay. Deja's how to. If someone is thinking about starting a small business, what would you recommend them do first?
So I think for sure. So I've started several businesses, and so
Wait. Y'all, Shana be trying to be real humble, but she is like that deal, okay? Like Gates Millennium Scholar, just gets all these job offers and like just like, oh, I'm gonna keep applying. She's just like a real wealth of knowledge. So I just want to encourage you guys again to just go and support her channel, because she knows her stuff for sure. And she's like that hustle type of person. Of course, that's like HU, we on a whole nother level.
no.
When I found out she went to Howard, I was like, oh my God, I can totally believe it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, even when we had our strategy call, like Shana came with everything just prepared. I was like, girl, you don't even really need me. Like, but yeah, I just wanted to encourage you guys to go and like really take her knowledge in, because she has so much to give. Okay, sorry, I cut you off, but go ahead.
So yeah, I started several businesses, and I think this time around, well, I will say this: when you start businesses, they can fail, and so I've failed at other businesses, and I think that's okay. You don't have to look at yourself as a failure or anything like that. You just have to figure out what did you do wrong and what you want to do differently. So in previous businesses, I had a product-based business, and I'm like, I will never have another product-based business. I don't want that. I need to figure out a way that somebody else can hold the inventory and not me. And so that's one thing that I learned from one of the businesses. And I think from both of the businesses that I started before, I didn't have that persona. And so I didn't know who I was really talking to. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, you know what? Everybody can use this. Everybody can, like all women can do this.
Right.
Whoever can do that. And it really doesn't serve anybody, because you can't really think of what are their pain points and what, you're actually solving for them. So I think it was really critical for me while starting up this business by sitting down, because I learned, I need to identify who I want to help. And yes, you can help other people outside of that persona, because I was very specific. I was like, she's 24, she lives in Atlanta, she does this. But obviously, people, in Seattle or people in New York are going to utilize my business. People who are 27, people who are 32 are all going to utilize it. But when you have someone that you can visualize, like, how am I going to help Jada? Like, how am I going to help her? And I think that is something that really helped me, or is helping me this time, to be like, okay, which product is she actually going to be able to use? Which service is she going to be able to use?
Yeah.
How is she going to think about, like, when I create this or that? So I think that's the first thing for sure. Because actually, that was the first thing I did. I didn't even have a name. Like other times I'm like, oh, I got a name for the business. I got colors, I got logos, and
Yeah.
don't know who I want to help.
Yeah.
And this time I was like, I need to know who I want to help first. And then I built out
Build it
everything
around
after.
that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I think that's the first thing. Who are you talking to? What problem are you solving for that person? And I mean, that's just it. And yeah, absolutely. You don't try to grab everybody, okay? Because you're gonna miss everybody by trying to catch them
Yeah,
all.
you
So, and yeah, like, and people get like some guys low key get mad at me on my channel, and I'm like, girl, or like when I make little references in my videos when I'm speaking, they're like, us men are watching too, and it's like, 85% of my audience is women, but there are men who watch, and so even though you're targeting this demographic or this type of person or persona, that does not mean that you are excluding everybody else. So totally agree. I'll take one more question. Say, um, 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 D Money asks, is one form of social media better than another to build your business?
So is that question for me? I think it depends on, like we were talking about, the persona and where that person is and how you're going to be able to help them. So like for this business that I'm creating, I know that I want to focus on LinkedIn, and that's going to be a platform, and then also Instagram, because like we talked about in our strategy call, like she's 24, she's young, she's going to be on Instagram. And so those, I think, are the ways that I'm positioning, those platforms. But then there might be other platforms that I could use, but it doesn't, I don't think you have to stretch yourself thin and use every single platform, but just think about where are the people that you're trying to serve, where are they, and how are they going to best receive your information on the platforms that you want to use. And I think also another part of it is like, how well do you use those things too? Because like if you personally are never on Facebook, does it really make sense to, like, is your audience really on Facebook, and are you really going to be consistent with providing stuff like that? So I think, one, think about your persona, but also think about like you as well. Like, are you going to be actually able to meet their needs? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally agree. Um, yeah, it's all about what makes sense. Just think about what makes sense. And I think you can make different things make sense. Um, I personally am biased toward YouTube just because I think it you can build so much trust on YouTube. It is a very easy platform. Like if somebody watches 10 minutes of a video, um, versus like on Instagram, they are scrolling past your picture for a half of a second. And there is way more buy-in, it's way more time that they're spending with you on YouTube. And so I'm very partial to YouTube, but I always say choose one longer form content, whether that's whether that's YouTube, podcasting, or blogs, or something where you're really gaining and building trust. And then one that is a little bit, more like cheap attention, Instagram. And some of these platforms are changing. Like LinkedIn, you can have blog posts, you can put videos up, so can you on Facebook. So it really just depends on how you're utilizing them to even be able to categorize, is this my really high value platform, or is this my like really high relationship building platform? So it really just depends. But I think you need to just start somewhere, and the best way to know what is working for you is to have information. And having information means starting and figuring out, like, are people resonating with this? What are they liking? What are they not liking? Am I getting any engagement? Are people coming to my website? Are they converting? Am I getting sales? Like these, you really have to look at data. And when you're the type of person who struggles with starting because you're trying to figure everything out before you start, you're just not going, I'm sorry, but it's going to be very hard for you to be successful, because you're going to spend so much time in this phase that doesn't really yield anything.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to prepare to a certain extent, but you're only going to get so far in that phase before you just have to do it. So I would say just take the leap, and there's a way to make any platform work if if you can, one, be good at it, and if it makes sense. So last question for Shana. Oh, what you say?
I say I love YouTube too,
I
but
know.
it just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah. Last question. How has the eBrand Club helped you?
So the eBrand Club has definitely helped. I think I can utilize it even more than I have been. I am on there every single day, but I actually haven't posted myself like a lot of things. And I was thinking about it today, like with this business, like as I'm getting the logo created, I could put it in the eBrand Club for, feedback, and even like, crafting different messaging. I can put that in the eBrand Club and see what people think about it. But it's really helpful to also see when other people post things on the eBrand Club, like, oh, okay, she did this with her, her banner, her channel banner. Maybe I should include that. Or even just reading some of the comments and seeing like how people are responding to, people's thumbnails, because like people put their thumbnails in there, like, do you like this one or this one better? And I'm like, okay, a lot of people actually like the one with text better. So I'm doing something good or I'm doing something bad. It validates or, confirms or changes the way you do things just by seeing the information that people are providing to other people.
Yeah.
And I think I love the live lessons. I don't always get to, attend them, but they're always there for me. So like yesterday I watched the one on vlogging, because I think it came out on a Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I missed it. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. So there's always, content that's being delivered, and you can always get it in whatever, whenever you need it. So you can always revisit the content and everything. And I also like that you're available too. This is not, I guess, in the eBrand Club, but like we had the strategy call. So I feel like you make yourself available in so many different ways through the live lessons, strategy calls, the master classes? I was gonna say the master classes, and then you have the book club. I haven't participated in that yet, but even like I read the book that's in the eBrand Club already for this month. I read it like a few months ago, but I know people are going to get so much value out of reading.
I'm so excited. I just got mine today, and someone's like, I'm already on chapter 20. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so behind.
But you know what that did for me though? So I read it when he first released the book. So the book is Super Fans by Pat Flynn. So he released it, I think, this summer. And then I had signed up to be one of the early people to, get it. And I got the audio book. And so the book didn't come until after I was done with the audio book.
Oh.
And so, but I was like, I actually have a note in my phone to like go back and do some of the action steps, because each chapter he has like some like do this, do that, do that. And I did start implementing some of those things, but I need to go back and follow up on some of the things in that book. And so when you post it in there, I was like, you need to get on it, Shana. So it's just like, a reminder as well of, things that you should be doing. And also helps to, to really just guide you and shape you and make sure that you're doing the things that's going to help your business, your YouTube, whatever it may be, to develop in a better way. So I think it's been very valuable for sure. And I also saw somebody that lives where I live on there, and I was like, I should reach out to her.
Yeah, you should. There are people in the club who literally have meetups with each other.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
their accountability groups, and they like go and hang out, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. So thank you, Shana. I'm so glad you're getting a lot out of it. I think it's like over 600 people in the club now, and it's still, I don't know, I just love it so much. I love going in there and seeing how much you guys are progressing. And I just did the YouTube audit on last Wednesday, and I can tell like that people are really starting to apply things, and it's just really encouraging. It's really cool to see you guys just evolve. Someone said what book? Super Fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you did an audit of my video maybe a couple months ago, and you were like, I'm doing pretty good, but there were some things that I should change, and I changed them up. And so it's like, I'm able to get direct feedback, because sometimes people in your audience don't tell you those things. They watch, and they're like, oh, great video. But when you have somebody that is, looking to give you feedback, then that helps out a lot, because somebody's like looking at it from the lens of how can this person improve, rather than just saying, oh, you do a good job, because the good jobs are good. They help boost your ego, but they don't help you to grow.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. Paula's pick said, I'm not as active in the eBrand Club because I'm not on Facebook often, but folks are so energetic, supportive, and lots of learning resources. Oh, yay. Yes, it is very high energy. Someone asked, is it too late to, oh wait, how do you sign up? It is on my website. It is literally earnondemand.com/eBrand. Or just earnondemand.com, and you can find the eBrand Club page from there. Okay, you guys. Thanks, Shana. Oh my gosh, virtual plug.
At church this weekend, he was like, he was like, bring me tighter.
Yes. Okay, well, if you guys have any questions for Shana in terms of paying down debt, or even public health, or anything related to money or public health, please contact Shana. She is such a sweet person with so much knowledge and value. So I'm so happy to have her just in my network, not just in the club, but just as someone that I know, and someone who shares the alma mater of Howard University, the real HU, the Mecca. So I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks, Shana.
All right, thank you, Erin, and thank you for everybody for joining.
Yay. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.